sports consultant and mentor. Today's conversation is make more mistakes. Now, before I even get into that, you're probably wondering, like, last video, you said you might tell you guys where I'm at or why I'm here. Tampa, Florida. I'll tell you in the next video. Okay. But basically, make more mistakes. So many athletes are in a space where they consciously are afraid of being seen in a negative light. So let me give an example. Felix Sanchez is a Puerto Rican 400-meter hurdler. And I watched him run one day at the Occidental Invite in Los Angeles, and he was out of shape. He was slow. He looked like he was out of shape. And I was like, man, he's done. Like, I think it's time for him to give it up. Fast forward that year with the Olympics. So this was 2016. Fast forward, he wins. Literally. I was like, wow, I judged him and I was completely wrong, right? But I wonder what he was thinking if he were to have seen my face or heard me say what I was thinking in my mind, right? And if you are in a space where you're always paying attention to the external noise, then it's going to have a negative effect on you. It's just noise. And to be honest, I could actually rewind this back and go to the other episode we talked about with it's all your fault. Well, it's your fault that they're saying these negative things, which means you created this person to say the negative things so that you then can get upset or frustrated or motivated by the words that they said for you to go do what you originally wanted to do. If you don't understand what I mean by that, then go watch it's your fault. It's always your fault, something like that. Anyway, so basically make more mistakes. I have some athletes that are always behind the board. You know who you are, okay? Every single jump, this person is always behind the board. And the concept was, I don't want to foul. And I'm like, so you'd rather have a mark that doesn't even show you your full talent, right? Just go put together that jump. That's why I always say, like, if you're gonna jump, just jump. If you're 8 feet over, be 8 feet over. If you're 2 feet behind, be 2 feet behind. Don't adjust, because then the coach can't adjust you or modify your approach, right? But the make more mistakes concept is go try every single shoe. Go try every single technique. Like, go make these mistakes. And if you're like self-conscious about it, about somebody seeing you make all these mistakes, then just document it. Document all the mistakes. Put it on live. Put it on YouTube. And just show, like, hey, I'm on a mission to make 1,000 mistakes. So now it's like they'll be excited to see you make mistakes, right? But at the end of the day, when you finally get it right and you end up out of mistakes, you're in a great, great place, okay? So many times I'll have athletes that are trying to do things right from what I'm explaining. I'm like, do these 3 things, and they try to do them right. And I'm like, you understand, trying, 1, means you're not doing it, right? 2 is when you're trying to do it right, you're also going to be making mistakes, right? And it's just like, stop trying to do something right. Just go do whatever you do with confidence. So when you do whatever you do, I might see something that I have never explained, or I might see another version of what I'm saying. And I might say, you know what? You did everything right except for this one thing, right? Now let's add this one thing in, versus you're trying to do it right, and now you have 30 things wrong. Like, get out of being this perfectionist. I'm gonna use that word, right? And I'm using that word because I used to always call myself a perfectionist until I did the research and I looked to see what a perfectionist is and where it comes from. So if you agree with this, great. If you don't, it's okay. Again, it is what it is. So a perfectionist, from my understanding, which resonates with me, is I'll use it from my perspective. I was subconsciously trying to do things in such a way that other people would see me as doing it right so that I could gain positive feedback and acknowledgement. So that means that the source of that was I was insecure and yearning for acknowledgement. So I was trying to do things like they would want me to do it versus being true to myself. And I was coming from this place of lack. So once I understood that, I said, I can't do that anymore. There's no such thing as perfectionist, because to be honest, if you do something perfect, like let's say it was to happen, someone's going to have something to say about what you did. There are coaches that out there that say, oh, your athletes are not that fast. Okay, I'm not going to go change my program to work on a bunch of speed work. Oh, your athletes landings, they're not that good. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and do 85 drills of landing. At the end of the day, the athletes are all improving. They're getting better. They're competent. They're performing at a very high level. If we get to the landing piece, we get to it. If we get to the speed part, we get to it. My ultimate goal is to build confident, knowledgeable athletes and just better people and show them how good of a person they are and show that off. So when it comes to this perfectionist piece, no, my camera's off. Come back, camera. Technical difficulties. My phone die? You guys can hear me because I can see my voice moving. What's going on here? Are you telling me I gotta redo this video? I'm 7 minutes in. I don't know what's going on. Let's try this. Boom, boom. And let's see if that does anything. Is it back? And I'm back because I'm like spitting knowledge right now, or I feel like I'm in a group. Okay, and so I was saying something about perfectionists. I lost my train of thought. And I'm going to keep this because it's alive. So I'm not even going to edit this stuff out. But at the end of the day, what I learned is that I was coming from lack and I couldn't do that anymore. And I'm someone feel a certain way. And I don't have to apologize. I don't have to modify any of that stuff. So what I realized is when I make more mistakes, I quickly find the solution for every scenario. Thomas Edison, who's known for the light bulb, right? There was an interview that I read, and it said something along the lines of, like, how did you get to 10,000? They said it's 1,000. He said there's a lot more than that. But how did you get there? He's like, honestly, after a while, I had so many fails, I just kept going because I was like, I'm used to it, and I'm eventually going to get to the right thing. And that was it. And so when I heard that, I took that in, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try that. And that's why I was like, if I fail, I fail. That's why in this specific video, you saw the camera went out. Who cares? I'm going to post it still. Why are you going to get mad at me that I had a video that the camera went out and I should have edited it? You know what I'm trying to say, right? So it's like, I'm not going to sit here and try to make things better. The content is the content for those who are here. You're here because the message you enjoy. If you don't enjoy this message, you'll enjoy the next one. So putting this back into the track and field world is if your coach is explaining something on how to run and you're perceiving what he or she is saying to you, go do what you think he or she is saying to you. Because once you do that, a good coach is going to say, okay, I said this and that ugly situation just happened. Okay, that's great. Now I'm going to modify what I'm saying to see what happens now. And it's an organic movement that's happening. And that's how I operate. If I say the results aren't what I thought it was going to be, I don't get frustrated with the athlete. I ask myself, how else can I say this and see what happens? And I keep trying these things over and over again. So when it comes to you, make more mistakes. I actually had a mentor that told me she preferred, when she wrote her goals for the month, she said, I want to have 40 no's. She was a saleswoman. And she was like, I wanted to get 40 no's. The closer I am to a yes. And she's like, sometimes I would get 40 no's straight. And each time that no would happen, I would check it off and I would celebrate. That is a great way of thinking, right? Just go and go and go. It's going to help you so much more. I think that's kind of it. That's all I really want to say for this topic. Make more mistakes. Bump what everyone says. Do what you feel is the best representation of you. And have fun.